Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside the Cage, where we bring you the latest and exciting updates of UFC. First, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Alex Pereira opens up about Showdown of Sean Strickland at UFC 293. You know, it's pretty interesting that Alex Pereira isn't looking to make a comeback in the middleweight division of the UFC. A lot of people were pretty shocked when Sean Strickland managed to defeat Israel Adesanya. But here, Pereira doesn't seem all that surprised. According to Pereira, it all comes down to styles. He thinks that Sean Strickland's fighting style was just a really bad match for Israel Adesanya's way of fighting. In his eyes, Adesanya's style had become kind of predictable. In a recent interview, he said, "Since this fight was booked, people were asking me what I think about this fight, and I always said from all the guys out there, the one that had the biggest chance was Sean Strickland," Pereira said through his translator. "The way that he fights and putting everything together, he's a good fighter. From their fight, I saw some stuff that Sean was doing that was working for him. I'm not going to get into details so I don't help Adesanya in a rematch, but I'm not surprised. Sean did a great job and I was expecting that." You know, when it comes to the middleweight title picture, Alex Pereira might still be keeping an eye on things, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's itching to make a comeback. These days, he's moved up to light heavyweight, and it seems like he's enjoying not having to go through that tough weight cut anymore. So the way he sees it, he doesn't envision himself dropping back down to middleweight anytime soon. No, it's not in my plans," Pereira said. "My plan was if Israel Adesanya was still the champion there, maybe win the light heavyweight belt and make a fight with him, but now, no. Sean's my friend, and also, it's not a weight cut I'm looking to do. I always made weight, never missed weight or anything like that, but it is a hard weight cut, so right now it's not in my interest. As the MMA world continues to evolve, who knows what exciting matchups and surprises await both in the middleweight and light heavyweight divisions. We'll just have to stay tuned to find out. Conor McGregor shocks the world with his bold take on Dillon Danis's fight. You won't believe this, but Conor McGregor is not helping out Dillon Danis for his upcoming boxing debut. It's kind of surprising, right? Dillon Danis, who's been a longtime buddy and training partner of McGregor, is all set to take on Logan Paul in a boxing match on the undercard of KSI versus Tommy Fury in Manchester, happening on October 14th. At first, when the fight got announced, McGregor was all over it, publicly claiming he'd be training Danis and even guaranteeing a victory for his buddy against Paul. But now, here's the twist. Just a mere 2 weeks before the big fight, the former UFC champ has dropped the bombshell that he won't be involved in Danis's camp anymore. Quite shocking, right? Although he's got his reasons, of course, and he's opened up about why their plans took this unexpected turn. "Dillon's gonna win, Dillon will win," McGregor told All Out Fighting. He added, "You know, he had the baby, we didn't get to train together. So I don't know the ins and outs. I know he's doing well, he's still training and he's gonna go for it. He's had a baby, he had a new baby, so I tried to bring him out. Dillon's good." You won't believe the drama leading up to this fight. So before the showdown between Logan Paul and Dillon Danis, Paul's fiancée, Nina Agdal, actually sued Danis and got a temporary restraining order against him. Well, Danis was giving her a really hard time with relentless social media trolling. That's taking trash talk to a whole new level, right? On the other hand, Conor McGregor isn't thrilled that their banter escalated to a legal battle. But at the same time, he's giving both Logan Paul and Dillon Danis some credit. He acknowledges that all this drama has excited up the surroundings of their fight. "It's messy, all of that. I don't care about it," he said about Agdal's lawsuit. He continued, "It's an interesting build-up. It's exciting and fair play to both of them." When asked if he's going to be there to cheer Danis on, McGregor gave an imprecise answer, saying, "Possibly, we'll see." Here, the suspense is real. Conor McGregor's December return plans. Right now, McGregor hasn't officially entered the USADA testing pool, which is usually a sign that a fighter is gearing up for a return to the octagon. But despite that, he's not closing the door on the possibility of stepping back into the cage this year. Undoubtedly, McGregor always keeps us guessing about his next move, doesn't he? Recently, he said to All Out Fighting, en route, son. I'm still hoping for December. It's imminent." Now it looks like Conor McGregor is still holding on to hope for a December comeback, but the odds of seeing him at UFC 296 seem pretty slim. Dana White, the UFC CEO, has already spilled the beans that Leon Edwards will be defending his welterweight title against Colby Covington in the main event, and Alexander Pantoja is set to defend his flyweight title against Brandon Royval in the co-main event. So there doesn't seem to be a spot for McGregor in that lineup. "Yes, has to be," McGregor said. "Chandler, sit down and wait, and shut your mouth. You know, guys, maybe the UFC is keeping Conor in their back pocket for something big, like UFC 300, scheduled for March or April. It would be a milestone event. Regardless of when he makes his return, McGregor has already dropped a bombshell by saying that his next fight will be against Michael Chandler, who he coached against on 2 of 31. That's a matchup a lot of fans would be eager to see. Guys, if you're enjoying the video, we'd love your support. Just hit that subscribe button to motivate us to bring you more exciting content." Oliveira's Abu Dhabi rematch with Makhachev. Charles Oliveira has been pretty open about his feelings on this rematch with Islam Makhachev. However, their first title bout happened just under a year ago in Abu Dhabi, and Makhachev pretty much ran through Oliveira with a second-round submission at UFC 280. Now Oliveira is gearing up for a do-over, and he's admitted that he would have preferred to face Makhachev somewhere else. In an interview with My MMA News, Oliveira stated, "I don't necessarily think it's fair, but it's the game. That's where the champion is. He calls the shots. But I'm coming back for my belt wherever that is." Surely Charles Oliveira earned himself another crack at Islam Makhachev. Remember when he put an end to Beneil Dariush at UFC 289 back in June? That was the moment he was dubbed the next in line for the title. "With 12 years in the game, I just kind of learned how to play the game," Oliveira said. "I knew that there was a UFC in Sao Paulo. I just wanted to shoot my shot and see if it would work. But here we are." Here, Oliveira took his sweet time accepting the rematch against Makhachev. Turns out it was all part of his negotiation game plan. With the UFC coming back to Oliveira's hometown of Sao Paulo, Brazil on November 4th, he was just trying to make sure he got the chance to fight in front of his home crowd. Undeniably, it's all about strategy in this business. Dana White gives his statement about Ferguson versus Pimblett fight. Dana White isn't paying much attention to the fan community who are skeptical about the Paddy Pimblett versus Tony Ferguson matchup. People have been buzzing, or maybe not in a good way, about this fight being on the UFC's final PPV of 2023. Now, at a recent Contender Series fight card on September 26th, Dana White had a chat with reporters about Ferguson versus Pimblett. As you know, Ferguson is on his 6-fight losing streak. That is why White believes there's more to it than just the record when it comes to booking him against a guy over a decade younger. It's all about the bigger picture for him. I think a lot of people think that Paddy is unproven, and I think a lot of people feel like this is a fight Tony isn't in deep water like he's been in his last several fights, White told reporters, speaking on Ferguson versus Pimblett. "I think the matchmaking and the timing on this fight is excellent and couldn't be more perfect." Now, it's quite an interesting situation with Dana White and Tony Ferguson. Here you get the sense that White isn't planning to push Ferguson into retirement if he loses at UFC 296, but he's kind of hoping that Ferguson can read between the lines and make the call on his terms. He's had a great career, done a lot of things, had a lot of big fights, and another loss probably would be a wrap for him, hopefully. While Ferguson also shared his thoughts on Instagram, acknowledging the setbacks and expressing his determination to keep going. Unfortunately, in sports, setbacks like this are part of the journey. While I won't use the eye poke as an excuse for the outcome, I know for a fact I have more to give. Moving forward, I plan to work closely with Dana, Hunter, and my entire team to assess what's next. It's clear he still has the fighting spirit, but sometimes in the world of sports, it's a matter of knowing when to make that tough call. All right, guys, that's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you at the next one. Until then, goodbye.